Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at the reality of web development in 2026. We've got this really incredible source material on modernizing ReactJS services. And honestly, if you're still thinking of React as just a Vue library, you're about 3 years behind. It's really a full stack compiler-driven ecosystem now.
Yeah, it really is. It's less about just building UI and way more about actual architectural engineering. React has effectively graduated. I mean, the days of just tossing a script tag into a page are completely ancient history.
Right, and I think the biggest shift, the one that finally killed that whole React is too heavy argument, is the compiler.
Oh, absolutely. That was the turning point for sure.
Yeah.
We moved from this runtime heavy library to a true compile time framework.
Which, thank God, because I really do not miss the dependency array gymnastics. Trying to figure out if an object reference changed or if I, broke memization in useEffect or useMemo was half the job. It felt like I was doing the garbage collector's work for it, you know?
Exactly. And that cognitive load is just gone now. The React compiler handles that memoization automatically at build time. It analyzes the data flow and strictly memoizes values so the runtime doesn't have to diff the virtual DOM nearly as aggressively.
So we actually get that zero runtime overhead. But let me play devil's advocate here for a second, because nothing is free, right? If we're offloading all this complexity to the compiler, are we just trading runtime speed for excruciatingly slow build times?
Well, yeah, that is the trade-off. Your CI/CD pipeline might take a bit of a hit, sure, but the result is what they call a pit of success. The app is fast by default for the user without you having to manually optimize every single render cycle.
I will take a slower build for a faster first contentful paint literally any day. And speaking of speed, that brings us to the architecture. Server first isn't just a buzzword anymore, it's the actual default.
It has to be. React Server Components, or RSC, are the non-negotiable standard today. We aren't sending hydration JavaScript for static content anymore.
It's funny looking back at how controversial RSC was initially. Now it just makes perfect sense. Why expose API keys or sensitive logic to the client when you can just access the database directly in the component?
Right. You just query the database, render the HTML, and send zero JavaScript for that part of the tree. It's so much safer and drastically lighter.
But the tooling wars are still super interesting to watch. You've got Next.js 16 acting as the 800-pound gorilla. They've gone all in on things like the use cache directive and edge middleware.
Next.js is definitely the batteries included enterprise choice. It's magic, but it's very opinionated magic. And I think that's exactly why we're seeing a massive surge in teams moving to TanStack Start.
Ah, the TypeSift challenger.
Exactly. Next.js abstracts a lot away, which is great for velocity. But TanStack Start appeals to the architects who want explicit control. They want end-to-end type safety without the black box. They want to know exactly how the server communicates with the client.
That desire for separation actually bleeds right into state management, too. The days of dumping everything into a massive global Redux store are completely over.
Oh, completely. If half your app is on the server, a global client store makes 0 sense. You have to split it. Server state is handled by tools like TanStack Query, which automates the caching and syncing, and then client state, like whether a modal is open, goes to lightweight tools like Zostand.
It's so much cleaner. And it forces you to organize your files differently, too, which brings us to feature slice design. That seems to be the clear winner there.
It's just logical. Instead of having a folder for components and a separate folder for hooks, you group everything by business value. The checkout feature owns its own components and logic.
It reminds me of that analogy from the source material about resilience. A monolith architecture is like a cruise ship where one engine failure and the whole vacation is ruined. But this modular approach...
It's a fleet of speedboats. If one boat has an engine problem, the rest of the fleet keeps moving. It's all about isolating failure domains.
Okay, here is where it gets really interesting for me, though. We cannot talk about 2026 without talking about generative UI. We aren't just using Copilot to write functions anymore.
No, this is the actual next frontier.
Yeah.
We're talking about AI agents that dynamically assemble the interface at runtime.
Which honestly sounds terrifying for security, an AI just writing raw HTML on the fly.
That's a common misconception, actually. It's not writing raw code. It's using tools like the Vercel AI SDK to select from a library of your own safe, pre-built React components. It's acting as a real-time designer, stacking the Legos you built to match what the user specifically needs in that exact moment.
That is a massive shift. The AI isn't just a coding assistant, it's the interface architect.
And it connects everything we just discussed. You have a compiler, ensuring performance, a server-first architecture delivering data securely, and an AI layering the personalized experience on top.
So what does this all mean for you listening? If you're working in this stack, you aren't just a front-end developer anymore. You are building systems.
The baseline for quality is just so much higher now. You really can't get away with unoptimized code.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought. With generative UI assembling screens on the fly, does our job description inherently change? Are we still builders of screens, or have we effectively become architects of component systems for an AI to use?
That is the million-dollar question.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Go out there and build something cool.